Hey everybody, welcome back to art class. Mrs. Robinson here, and this is my friend Buttercup, and we are going to do an art project together today. You are going to need a few things. Number one is a blank piece of paper. I am going to use this piece of paper. It's black and it's a square. You can use any colored paper, and it doesn't have to be a square, it can be a rectangle. That's number one. The second thing you're going to need is 6 strips of paper. I've got a bunch of different colored strips, but your strips do not have to be different colors. If you have a regular piece of paper, you can cut it up into thin strips like this, and that will work just fine. The third thing that you are going to need is glue. I would prefer that you use a glue stick, please. All right, my friends, let's get started. Now, before we get started actually making our art project, I want to talk to you a little bit about art. There are 2 kinds of art we're going to talk about today, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, 2D and 3D for short. Now, 2-dimensional basically just means flat. So if I have a piece of paper, this is a 2D piece of art, or 2-dimensional. It's flat. If I have any kind of art that's 2D, that means that I can touch it. When I turn it to the side, it's flat. That makes a piece of art 2-dimensional. Now, if I'm talking about a piece of 3-dimensional art or 3D art, that means that I can see it all the way around. It has form. Let me show you some examples of 3D art. This first one is a flamingo. Now, I can turn this flamingo all the way around and see it from all different sides. It's not flat, so that means that it is 3D. Another example would be, Buttercup. Buttercup isn't flat, he's huge. He would be a 3D piece of art. In addition, this giraffe would also be 3D art because I can see it all the way around. It's not flat. And last but not least, I have this pumpkin. This pumpkin is an example of 3-dimensional art because I can see it all the way around. It has form and it's not flat. Today we are going to make some 3-dimensional art. Grab 1 strip of your paper. Now we need to make these strips of paper stand up on our base paper. How do you think we're going to do that? If you said by using glue, you are right. Before we get to any gluing, here's what I need you to do. If we want this piece of paper to stand up on our other paper, we need to give it feet just like us. We stand up because we have feet, so this piece of paper needs some feet too. Here's what I want you to do. Take 1 strip of your paper. At the end, I'm going to take it and fold down just a little bit of my paper. Bring it back up. Now at the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold my piece of paper in, push it down and crease it, and I'm done. Fold both ends the same way. So if I folded this side in, I'm going to fold this side in as well. Now, if I take this piece of paper, here are my feet, I can stand it up like this with the feet on the bottom, and it becomes 3-dimensional or not flat. Go ahead and take this piece of paper, find your base paper. What I want you to do is put your base paper on your table. You're going to put glue on the bottom of the feet. Put some glue on your bottom of the feet. Stick it anywhere on that piece of paper, and then when you turn it to the side, it won't be 2-dimensional or flat, it will be 3-dimensional. Now that we've got our first piece of paper with some feet and standing up on our project, you should have 5 strips of paper left. Go ahead and give feet to all of those strips of paper. After you're done giving them feet, you are going to add them to the base of your project. You can do this however you want, but first I'm going to show you some really fun options of what you could do. I've got my first strip of paper standing with feet right here. My first option is to put my new piece of paper standing right next to it, like this. They could be the same height. If you push it together, it will get taller. If you bring it apart, it will get shorter. It would be really cool if you could change up every strip of paper so it looks a little bit different. So your first option is to put it to the side like this. Another cool option is to put it overlapping your first piece. So if I wanted to do that, I would put it on top of my first piece of paper like this, and then they would connect. The last option I want to show you is kind of like over the top, but instead I'm going to put my new piece underneath my first strip of paper. So now it's under. I want you to put the rest of your 5 strips of paper all over this paper. You can fill it up with those strips. Make some really cool interactions between your paper strips. Some of them can touch, maybe you're gonna overlap or put it underneath, or maybe you can put them side by side. When you are done putting those 6 strips of paper onto your base, I would love if you could take a picture of it and upload it to Seesaw so I can see the awesome line sculpture that you have created. Have fun making your sculptures, friends. Here's the sculpture that me and Buttercup made. You can see that all my strips of paper are standing on their feet and they are all different. Most importantly, this is 3D artwork. That means 3-dimensional artwork. That means that it's not flat, but standing up. Have a great week, friends.